Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers once described some of their songs as making you feel like you just curled up for Christmas between a large pair of breasts. And that's the way this new Gary Numan album makes me feel. Gary has an unsurpassed talent for making dark wave sound warm and fuzzy. Nothing brings out the nostalgia for the good old days of industrial like this guy does. He's able to stick to the genre and bring out the best in it without letting things get stale. He's also one of those guys that has a voice and a singing style that nobody else can come close to copying. From the first track, Resurrection, you're presented with something both harsh and dark like we all like our industrial to be, but that also has a great melody that holds everything together and smooths everything out, making it deliciously palatable. On the second track, Big Noise Transmission, there's a fantastic chorus where you get to hear that great, almost cracked sounding voice of Gary's. And the big, fat sounding metal guitar chords give a nice mattress for Gary's voice to lie upon. Not the Love We Dream Of is a stripped down, mostly piano piece that still sounds potent even though Gary is practically whispering through the whole thing. And there are two versions of the song Dead Sun Rising that are on the digital version of the album, and the early version is the one I personally prefer, so if you're gonna get a copy of this album, make sure you get it someplace where you can get both versions of that song. Sometimes you listen to newer industrial albums and you hear a lot of pretense. You hear some guy that's trying to sound all dark and brutish, but you just don't buy it. But when it comes from Gary Numan, you always buy it. And not only do you buy it, he also makes the brutishness sound beautiful in a way that few singers can do nowadays. Also, now that Peter Steele is dead, Gary's the only guy who can convincingly mix the heavy guitar with the mournful melodies. Evanescence tries to do this, but fails miserably. Since Gary Numan always reassures me of the awesomeness of industrial, I approve of this album because it approves of me.